here for a little while, and bullshit. I don't want to talk. Actually, saw something that was kind of crazy. Evidently, um, what's her name? Ivanka Trump. Is that the one? Somebody threatened one of Trump's daughters. I think. I'm not sure. Is her name Ivanka? I forget. I think it is that. Anyway, evidently there's somebody threatened her or something happened. And this holiday weekend, damn, dude, you got on there quick. I just started. Anyway, this weekend, what was I going to say? Trump's not, supposedly he's hanging out in the White House and nobody's seen him. He's hanging out in there. There may have been some kind of threat on the whole family or him as well. And I heard something that I think it was from Benny Johnson's channel that they said, or he said, to people in his cabinet and everything to lay low. No, there's some kind of threat they're not telling us about. So see what the fuck happens. Maybe something's about to happen in the country. I don't know. So how you doing there, Memory? You all right? Yeah, I don't know. I just I saw it when I came home. We got rained out again, by the way. Uh, it's ridiculous. Raining all week, and it's killing my hours up there. So I door dashed for a little bit, but I really need to door dash my ass off the next few days, trying to make up for the loss of income on the what you call it, Blue Rocks. And the thing is screwed up is they held back. Here's the deal: they were away for 2 weeks, so I got no paycheck coming on the first this Friday. It'll be on the next one. What's going to? Yeah, that's what I heard. That's nuts, isn't it? Sunday and tomorrow we have a double header. We're trying to make up games, so I hope we get at least one in there. It's crazy, crazy weather. So hopefully we can get that in there because it's getting fucking brutal. All my bills are going to come and due before I know it, and I got in here. It's a fucking bitch trying to already figure out how I'm going to budget everything because everything's changing. So anyway, thanks for stopping in. Whoever's in there, it looks like a bunch of people jumped on there. So I did a video just now, and first time I had a chance to cook dinner over here in a new place, and basically I had nothing I needed, but I made it work. It was just rotelli spiral pastas with red sauce, unfortunately, right out of a jar. And one day I'm going to do it right. I get to go from beginning to end. I just didn't. Is that Joey's? Joey's safe. What? Anyway, yeah, I got uh, threw all my herbs and everything in there. You can go watch the video if you want, but it's kind of a bitch trying to cook at home when you're used to cooking, in a restaurant. And I don't know, it's annoying as shit too sometimes when you don't have stuff right at, in reach. I like to, in a restaurant, you have everything where you need it and everything. Mise en place. Place for everything and everything in its place. When you're at home, it's kind of hard to set it up, especially when you just moved the fuck in. That's it. Yeah, you're right. It's a lot of money anymore to fucking cook anything, and the gas is going up again. So shit, food's going to go through the roof. Watch. And I think within a month or not even maybe about a month, you're going to see grocery stores having to shut down. They're going to have shit the way it's going. Maybe not all, but littler ones. It's going to be harder and harder for them to keep inventory. Because imagine paying the trucking bills and the fucking food costs and all this. And if they're not making anything, if everybody's clamping down on their expenditures because they can't afford gas and everything, it's going to starve out more mom and pop shops like COVID did. It's not going to hurt Walmart and stuff like that, the bigger stores. Oh, it will, but nowhere near, What's this? Something just came across my screen. Okay. Video. Um, so what did you do today there, Memory? Did you work? Wait a minute. 1 second. I don't know. I was trying to see who the fuck that was. I just pushed him off the channel. Some asshole. Damn it. Had to clean up, piss, and throw up on a bus. That sucks. Just get a fire hose. Tell everybody to get the hell out. Just spray it all down. Do you get hazard pay for that? To get hazard pay, you should actually get. You know, if you're working as a maid or a bus cleaner or a hotel cleaner or anything like that now, with all the pandemic shit that they're talking about, hantavirus and Ebola coming, serious dollarage, man. You know, yeah, because you never know that they're claiming how bad everything's going to be. Hantavirus coming on, and it's the other fucking thing, Ebola. So, yeah, you motherfuckers better come off the money. I'd be saying, forget that shit. Shorten your life, for a job there. I couldn't do it. Not now, anyway. Who's that? How you doing? Ian Standring. Where are you from, Ian? Is that your name? Ian Standring? I'm going to say England, just a guess. Is it a good guess? Everybody I knew named Ian was from England. UK, that's close. That's the same thing. Same thing, United Kingdom. Uh, one of the best musicians that came over there was named Ian Anderson. Jethro Tull. Hey Tammy, how you doing? I was just chatting about. Imagine what they should start having to pay people who clean for a living, hotels or anywhere basically. Should be getting paid top dollar hazard pay because there's hantavirus out there, and you also got Ebola. They're gonna take care of those guys, It's ridiculous. Probably, pay them nothing. Yeah, Jethro Tull's awesome. Yep. You know who my favorite group from over there is? The Who. I saw them 9 times. The Who were awesome in concert. Townsend, great musician. Daltrey's got a halfway decent voice. It's kind of beat, but for those songs, it works. Yep. Hotel, hospital, yeah, and hospitals. Imagine, yeah. I bet you they should lift their pay, man. Because if this is that dangerous the way they're talking about, when they have a pandemic, then you better fucking compensate. People shouldn't be putting their life at risk if you're going to pay them the same rate of pay. Yeah. No, that would be pretty fucking scary. And I don't know how to get people to do it. People with a death wish, because if it's as bad, and I don't know that I buy into everything they're telling us anyway. So much bullshit, UFOs now and everything. Why'd they wait all these years just to break it out now? They needed a distraction from all the, bullshit and corruption that's getting spotted. People are saying. People with kids to feed. Yeah, no, it's a valid point. That's a valid point. But your kids will be parentless if they fucking die. So maybe find another job. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. and you could bring it back. What's it? Combat Pay. They play the same record, bro. No, you talking about the Who? You know what? I'll give you that. The deal is their set is the same. That's one thing I complain about with Townsend. They got all kind of other songs they never play. They roll out the same. They're great songs, but when you're going and seeing them a couple times on a tour and you're watching the same show, what's the fucking point? Watch it once, maybe videotape or something, then you're done. You don't need to go and see them again. Not that it was a great concert, high energy, but for the money, you better fucking try a couple different songs every now and then, in my opinion. Yeah. Hang on. Oh, I forgot something. Give me a sec. Okay, I had to put it on all chat. I do that every time I do a live stream. I had it like on top chat, which again, I say this all the time. Why does YouTube insist on putting it on top chat when you go do a live? What, you only want to hear from some of the people? That doesn't make any sense. If you have like 1,000 people on your live stream, I guess I understand that. But when you have like a couple dozen or something, maybe you'd like to be able to read some of the comments. And just, I don't understand. Just another brink in the wall, right? Yeah. Did you ever see Pink Floyd's with the wall, the animated thing with the hammers and all that shit? It's crazy. Heard Ian Anderson playing with Iron Maiden song called Jerusalem. Jerusalem's also done by Greg Lake. I think it's taken from, if it's the same song, a traditional. It's like an old school hymn or something. And Emerson, Lake and Palmer did it back in the day too. They might have done it before. The other ones, that was back in maybe late '60s, early '70s. It's probably awesome. Now I had to check that out. you know, it's a shame because now everybody that I grew up listening to, they're all dying out, dude. There's only a handful, and the ones that aren't, it's like time for them to stop. They can't do it anymore. That's the only thing I will say that Townsend at least said. Townsend said, "Okay, we hit a wall." Actually, they hit a wall a couple tours ago, but so be it. How about stopping it now? Roger Daltrey's like a grumpy old man now. He fired Zach Starkey, Ringo's son, like a couple times back to back or something over dumb shit. Yeah, they're too old. What's this? I think the government is messing up with my internet. Yesterday, I had no internet for 8 hours. You know what? And I don't know that this is true, but I just heard also that Iran can burn out or blow out the internet. Are they really that advanced? I didn't think so. Rush and Elton Bruce still performing, I think. Yeah. Rush is coming back, dude. Even they're trying to get a drummer to they got a female drummer, I heard. That she's supposed to be awesome. Sitting for Neil Peart. Yes, is old. He's it's old. He's playing flute in church. Okay, cool. It's probably right around the same time, but Emerson, Lake and Palmer did a version of that's pretty cool too. Do you like the group Yes at all? It's like progressive rock back in the late '60s. Well, actually, Yes still around. I think Chris Squire, the bassist, died. You had Rick Wakeman, John Anderson. No relations to Ian Anderson, I don't think. You met them? What, Yes, really? I saw them twice. My brother was a total Yes fan. They're good in concert. They're entertaining, and at least their music's not simple. Neither they're all classically trained musicians. Smashing Pumpkins still playing. Yeah, 40s to 80s music. Yeah, you know what? I don't really care a whole lot for late 90s, 2000s. Nothing does anything for me hardly at all. The new stuff. I keep finding myself listening to the older stuff. You know, I couldn't even basically name a new song. I don't even turn on the fucking radio anymore. Well, yeah, I do. That's a lie. I listen to the oldies, or like oldies, fucking 1970s classic rock. But yeah, some oldies. Uh, yeah, Tull is great. Jethro Tull in Scotland 20 years ago. Okay, well, Emerson, Lake and Palmer probably did that 40 years ago. I'm not exaggerating. It's on. I think it's on. It's not on Lucky Man. Oh, what's the name of that album? Jeez. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Turn on battery saver. Let me plug this thing in. I only probably got 15%. Wait a minute. Let me find my. What the fuck did I do with my. Oh, here it is. I got it. Um, yeah, it's an old. It's actually an old hymn, a church hymn, like, and they just turned it into a rock tune, or they played it. I wouldn't say they turned it into a rock. Your lights in the house were flickering like crazy last night. Did you guys have thunder and lightning down there? That sounds like cheerful music, there, Tammy. Five Finger Death Punch. I've heard of them. I can't name a song that do that. Shine Down. Disturbed. I like their version of Sound of Silence. Metal. Okay. Maybe, yeah. They could be trying to hack in. I wouldn't be surprised if sooner or later we're all in the dark for a while. And they seem to be like ramping shit up. Keep talking about how this disease and that disease, and trying to get everybody full of fear. And there must be a reason. I think a lot of it's for distraction. And now they can't stop talking about UFOs and aliens and shit. I don't give a shit. I got real concerns. Some fucking green guy flying around in a fucking flying saucers, and my number one concern right now. I'm trying to fucking pay for gas, keep the food coming in, fucking keep my job going, and I don't have time to fucking listen to bullshit. Look at this. Just now, Mirror now. Breaking UFO news live. UFO hearing turns chaotic following stunning non-human. You can't see the rest of it. See, even if they march a fucking alien out there, how am I going to believe that? Did you guys see the other day they had somebody in a mask, had looked like a human face, like a regular. I forget. It was Lisa Haven's channel had it. You can go check it out later. This guy was somebody in I don't know if it was Trump's cabinet or somewhere, and you could see he had a mask, a pull-on face, like basically a latex mask, but looked human and probably is human. But I'm just saying, why are they putting people in masks and shit? Exactly, UFOs won't put. You're right. Right. And they want us all to just, oh, wow. Instead of like, it's like pointing out that they're fucking corrupt politicians are stealing everything from us and trying to, take every bit of freedom away from you. Who the fuck cares if there's little green men flying around? I couldn't give a rat's ass. Tell me why the fuck you gotta, drop cameras on us every second of the day, and, you know, listening devices and fucking spying on us 24/7. Okay, that's my concern. What's this? I sing Red River Valley and square dance to ignore the mass surveillance. Yeah, there you go. Project Bluebeam. Exactly, dude. You know what you need to sing? That Who song. Who are you? You know, screaming at the top. Who the fuck are you? Because I just want to know who the fuck are they that they're looking in on us? They're the ones need to be spied and surveilled. The people in charge because they're criminal scum. You know, being real about it. You know, none of us have been down Jeffrey's Island. You know, the fuck is going on? That needs to be brought out to light too. These people do shit and they're not held responsible for anything. You go through a red light and you're fucking ready to go to jail. You know, Project Bluebeam. Yeah, it's all becoming bullshit. Did you ever think that you would wake up one day and be like, "What the fuck planet am I on? What? Why? Everything's different. It's they've been lying to us for not weeks, not days, not months, not years, probably decades, maybe centuries. We've been bullshitted, total bullshitted about everything you can think of. Two live cruise songs. The house gets the fuck out. Block. Absolutely. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That been going on for a long time, and we just never thought to question our government. We all wanted to believe that everything's right. Maybe that's what that means on the X Files. I want to believe. Remember, it said that. Yeah, Mulder used to say, "I want to believe." Yeah, I'd like to believe in our government wasn't a bunch of fucking lying, thieving scum, you know, but can't seem to work out into my brain. Fucked up. Crazy shit. Hang on for a minute. I bought a cup of coffee. I'm determined to drink it. I keep buying a cup of coffee and drinking about a quarter of it, and walking away from it, and forgetting it. Lean on. Yeah, yeah. That song, "Stuck in the Middle," was on. The hell's that? Shit. Reservoir Dogs. Did you ever see that movie? That was a cool movie. Uh, Quentin Tarantino, I think, directed it. Yeah, really in a poor voice. Um, yeah, I just want to know how we're going to stop these fucking elites from basically rolling us into a death camp because that's the ultimate agenda, the ultimate goal is to take your freedom and put you behind barbed wire till you starve to death or they torture you to death. Yeah, you're right. No, you know what? You don't hear them now. They bark when I come home, dude. And in the morning I get up just when I'm going out. So I feed them. Like I'll throw them meat scraps and shit, and I won't pet them. That this motherfucker, a couple of them they're vicious. Rex 84, yeah, yep, yep, yep. Speaking of rabbit holes, it's a hell of a rabbit hole just opened up over in Kentucky. Humongous fucking hole in the ground just opened up. And the guy was fixing something like on a tower, cell phone tower. Happened to look over and saw a humongous hole. It's on, I think it's on Dabu 77's channel. Um, there's one humongous. It goes deep. They try to like look down in it and shit. It's way deep. So whatever caved in there, whatever, makes you think: is there underground tunnels starting to collapse, or what's this? How you doing, Sammy Benzine? Where you from? Okay. Thank you. A stinkhole. I think you mean a sinkhole. A stinkhole. Okay. um. Yeah, but uh, it's the same thing. There's one in Australia where a guy was a farmer found I can't what the hell is the name of that one? Can't think of the name. It's a humongous hole, and it just goes drops down, drops down. The guy tried to send like a drone down, it disappeared, and all this other crazy shit. Exactly, exactly. I guess they're drilling a hole that's China, dude. Yeah, the whole fucking world is really totally twisted anymore. Makes zero sense to me. And I'm getting old now, but the older I get, the wiser I get. But I still scratch my head and say, "What the fuck? The fuck's going on?" I can't make sense of any of it anymore. Can you guys hear that? Listen, can you hear that whistling? That's a bird that's out there. They got a cockatiel, and the dogs bark. Well, when the dogs bark, the cockatiel barks with them. It learned how to bark. Now I was talking to the bird and messing with it and gave it some food. Now it's just calling me all the time. It's like whistling at me and shit. Yep. Yeah, she was sitting on in the corner. I felt bad, so I went over. I was talking and like whistling and shit. Now it's going to drive me nuts more than the dog because I feel bad for the birds sitting there alone. Exactly. Another thing they're trying to do is wear us down and break us down. Just constant bullshit happening constantly. So eventually we just can't take it no more. And we just give up, lose our will to live, is what I guess they think. Where, like during World War II, they pushed around Jewish people and ended up pushing them into Hitler did into death camps. Eventually, they were just didn't do anything. They just marched along because partly their will was broken, and partly it was like go along to get along, hoping that once they went into these camps, everything was going to be all right to leave you alone. It's a big mistake. Psyops. Yep. Yeah, a lot of psyops. You're right. Yep. Tammy, could you hear that parakeet or parakeet, the cockatiel? Can you hear that? See if she is. Yeah, it's loud. Uh, right now, I feel bad because it's just sitting in out there and a squawk. It would look like it was like all sad and hanging out there. I started whistling at it, gave it some food. It just needs attention. I put a video out of the chihuahuas. They're on there during my shorts. Uh, I think yeah, I just put them up tonight in the YouTube Shorts. Take a look at them. One's a fucking vicious bitch. I won't even pet the dogs. I mean, they're wagging their tail and growling at you at the same time. Yeah, that bird's talking. It hears me talking. When I pulled up, I heard it. I got out of the car and played a radio or TV for my birds. Yeah, yeah. It's alone in that cage, and it's probably needs another companion bird. Anyway, yeah, Trump's hiding out this weekend. I heard. I think I said something about it earlier. Um, is it Ivanka? Well, I think it's his daughter got threatened or something happened where someone was trying to go after the daughter. I haven't heard the rest of it. Trying to basically trying to do something to Trump too. Uh, he said that told all his cabinet members, I think, to lay low during this weekend. Something's getting ready to happen. Security's tightened up big time around the White House. I heard and he's there now. So, I mean, it's already supposed to be tight, but what's this example? The news in UK said UK heat wave opened the window. Fucking right. Exactly. Exactly. They're you know what they're trying to do? Confuse people. You know, if they say this and it's not like, in other words, what they say goes, and they don't give a shit whether it's fake, real. They want to get people who have a weak mind to go along. Okay. They said it's raining. No, it's not. Look out the fucking window. Use your brain, motherfucker. God gave you a brain. Use it. People are afraid to think for themselves. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I think it's starting to wear away on them. COVID and all that shit messed people up, especially the younger generation. The kids, they're messed up from this. They're freaking out and stuff, you know, and pisses me off because you know what? It's war fucking crimes against humanity. All that shit. Why is Fauci? He's gonna walk. They're not even going after him. They had him dead to rights for what they call war crimes or crimes against humanity. And Rand Paul was pushing hard, Senator Rand Paul, to get this thing done with because it had the May 11th. Well, May 11th came and went. I think the statute of limitations of what they had on him, lying about gain of function and a couple other things, contempt because he didn't want to go into court or I mean into Congress, I think, at one point. But that's all wiped away, I think. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Kids today, it's not even their fault that they're dumbing them down too. I don't know what it's like over in England, dude, but you go into a grocery store or a convenience store and you buy something and they have a kid working the cash register. They can barely count the change or they don't know how to give you the right change. And they have no ability to think for themselves in a lot of ways. Not all of them, but a lot of them are just, they push the button for an answer. Like they learn on a computer. Instead of learning using this computer, they're using something that's less, it's worth nothing. God gave you this. This is a gift from God. The other computer is something somebody invented, which has to be programmed with this anyway. So it's ass backwards, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you're right, dude. It probably is because it's run by the same assholes out there trying to basically destroy the earth. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. They're. Yeah. Yep. They don't know much of anything. Well, you know what? Reading, writing, and arithmetic are no longer important. It's how many genders are there? 72 now, and what's all the other shit? If you want to be a cat, you can be a cat. You can identify as a cat or even a dog. What the hell? Be a dog for a day. I mean, what the fuck is wrong? They're messing these kids up and they're buying into this shit. And it's all that woke shit and saying, "Oh, you're a racist. You had a different idea than the group does. So you're an outsider racist." If you think differently, you're no good. Yeah, tools should not control the hand using it. Yeah, exactly. That's a good way of putting that, Tammy. Yep, yep. But that woke shit, they have people absorbing all this guilt, be it white guilt or whatever the hell you want to call it, like you did something wrong. It's like when they told you, if you take off that mask, for COVID, you're killing grandma. It's just all this mind games to break people down. People start feeling guilty. Fuck them. Don't feel a little bit guilty. Live your life, do what's right, and go on with your life. Don't let that shit take you down. That's my mantra. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Uh, Memory. They had little infants wearing it. And here's the deal. They were saying in the very beginning with COVID that the young people didn't have to worry. It was the elderly that was in danger. They stated that over and over, right? The elderly, I mean, the younger kids' immune system is better than some of the elderly. And they were making them wear the mask all the way after the fact that the elderly stopped wearing it. Why? Fuck them up in the mind more? Yeah, exactly, Tammy. It's unbelievable. And what really bothers me is how the hell they get away with all the lying. I feel like just calling them out all the time. Yeah, I don't care what happens at this point because these scumbags are getting away with the crime of the century. You know, got people all messed up in the head. Yeah, yeah. They give you shit? Okay, because over here they were trying to pull that shit. Next thing is they people lost their jobs because they didn't get the vaccine thing. You know what? That was an experimental product, and they're forcing it on people, using their job as leverage. They won't be able to feed their kids. How fucking sick is that? That's extremely sick. You know, to say something that like that and put that kind of threat on them. It's bullshit. You know, and then after it's all said and done, all of a sudden they backpedaled because nobody was buying into it. And in the end, they were trying to find a way out. So, and here they are trying to do the same bullshit all over again. Exactly. Yeah, the jab. You're right. That caused more problems than not. You know, but put my head high and told kiss me. Exactly. I can't wait till it rolls. Well, yeah, I don't want it to roll around again, but I'm really going to go off this time. Right, right. And keep poking you with the booster shots and stuff. It's probably a cumulative thing, and probably eventually, gives you Parkinson's, brain damage, or God knows what. And even me saying that, even though I was just saying it, probably because I don't know, I don't think it might not give you none of that. The point being, even just saying that a couple years back got you flagged from YouTube, just suggesting that. That's like a hypothesis. And maybe I don't have the proof, but I'm not locked in saying, "Oh, this," And I got a strike on my channel just for saying, I wonder if this causes this and that. So why would they run cover for these pharmaceutical companies? Why were they covering their ass for them? Somebody's getting paid. You know, you what's that? Your mom got Alzheimer's. Yeah, yep, yep. It's three C19 vax. My neighbor, she was elderly, but right after she got that vax, she was done. Messed her up. Yep, exactly. You know how it could have gotten voided if we all stand together and say no. Everybody's gut was telling them something was wrong early on. It happens again. We all need to stand together, throw fear to the wind. Don't even fucking worry about it. Because if you play along, it's going to be way more horrendous than if you stand against it. I'd rather die on my feet than on my knees. If they're going to kill you because you don't play their game. I don't know. Since I refused a shot, I lied about having it just to keep peace. Yeah. Well, the thing is that what bothers me. What's it? Right. Well, now all of a sudden it's ticks. You guys hear they're dropping ticks out of airplane or helicopters onto people's farms, boxes of them. Why is it that if you go and run a red light, okay, they can find you and give you a ticket, No problem. They know who you are. They have facial recognition if you go into a store. Yet they couldn't find these helicopters. They're flying around, hovering around people's farms and dropping boxes of ticks out. Nobody can get them guys. Or better yet, how come nobody fucking stopped any of this sabotage that was happening a couple years ago? And I kept reporting on it, saying, when are they going to fucking catch somebody? This isn't all coincidence or just accidents. No way. One right after another after another. Dude, I'm 62. I've been around a long time. Never seen anything like it. You know? Exactly, Tammy. You're right. I remember that. Yep. You're right. China flies balloons right over us and nobody blows them out of the sky. I have a feeling somehow there's some secret document somewhere where America's been sold over to China, and this is all big uh, scam or con that we're already under some kind of China, and that's why Trump went over, and why that all of a sudden they're talking like social credit scores with all these flock cameras. We're taking China's system and putting it over here. Watch, and people, oh no, Trump wouldn't do that. Trump, it's not going to affect him or his family or his friends. It's going after everybody else. There's someone way higher than Trump wants us all dead. Yeah. Exactly, dude. Exactly. So wisdom. It's from, it's wisdom comes with living long, and you start to see things. And the good thing is, you don't fall for the same damn dumb tricks throughout your life. And that's why they want to eliminate the elderly or the older people, because they see this shit coming down the road. They know it's a scam. They've already been through it, this or that, years ago, and they can sort of read what's happening. And they don't want us to, teach the younger generation how to fucking duck the shit coming at them. So they need us out of here. They're going to try to fucking shorten the population, go after the elderly. Yeah. Trump. Yeah, 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 exactly. I'm starting to think it's all a big scam. That is, the billionaires are the ones running the world. Underneath them are the CEOs from the companies that are getting more and more power. And then you have figureheads. Trump's kind of like a figurehead because, if he was anything more than that, in my opinion, how I don't know how come nothing, that's, for instance, how come none of the people are going to jail that were spying on them or this or that? Maybe they are now. They're starting to talk about all that shit. Why didn't he throw them in jail? He was, when he had the evidence, there was evidence of shit going on. And I don't know. It's all crazy. Yeah, read the wind. Exactly. Exactly. You're right. People are scared. Yeah. Here's the deal. Um, who was it? Said, I think it was Thomas Jefferson. No, it might have been George. I'm not sure which patriot said this, but I'd rather have dangerous Ben Franklin. Sorry, I think it was Ben Franklin. I'd rather have dangerous freedom than safe tyranny. You know what I mean? Because that's what we got. And the funny thing is, it says in the Bible that they'll be saying peace, peace, and security, and then sudden destruction. Well, that's what everybody's craving. All this peace, peace, and they're not looking at what's going on, or they're listening with their ears, but they're not using their brain. We're getting set up for a sucker punch. Watch. They're going to fix everything. All this war shit and the UFOs. It's going to look like the end of the world, and all of a sudden, somebody's going to come forward and solve all our problems. That'll be the Antichrist, like it says in the Bible. And people start to marvel at him and follow him, and then we're up shit's creek. That's when the shit hits the fan. In my opinion, I think that's coming soon. Exactly. Yep. Yep. I'd rather die a man than an android because if you let them, they'll keep putting computer parts in you and everything else. How you doing? Anyway, the other thing with that is about the whole, what do you call that? Um, Transhumanism. Sorry, drew a blank there. Uh, what's his name? Elon Musk said he's making millions of wearable devices. What the fuck do you think people are just going to want to wear them? Yeah, okay, maybe get a better cell phone signal, and people are stupid enough for something like that. Or you can watch TV behind your eyelids, with your eyes closed or whatever. They want to fucking get in your head and change who you are. I ain't letting them. I don't trust any of these assholes. God made me the way I am for a reason. Same with everyone. Basically, God made us in His image, and they're trying to defile it. You know, the body is the temple, and they're doing everything they can to defile the temple. That's one meaning I think that comes out of that. About the temple being destroyed. Still won't be their property. Well, that's funny you say that because they're actually trying to claim your body by the mNRA shots and all that. They have patents on that, right? And it changes your DNA. I heard this. I don't know how to follow through and find out. But here's the deal: they'll claim that you now belong to them because you're walking around with your DNA has been altered, and they have a patent on it. See how fucked up that is? If that's true, I heard it over and over a few years ago. I think that's the whole game plan. Then they can own you and tell you what you're going to do and everything else. I will not refuse to give. They can kiss my bioengineered ass. Exactly. Exactly. And speaking of bioengineered, cripe's sake, everything in our food. Over Ian, by the way, you ought to see American food. You guys get at least real food. The stuff in our cereals and our breakfast stuff and just about everything we eat. It's got so many different chemicals and it's ridiculous. And I've seen other like English labels just state very little ingredients. You get the real deal. We're getting garbage over here. And I think they're trying to dumb us down and ruin our health. Exactly. There's like chemicals that, for cleaning the wall. There's something called TSP, trisodium phosphate or something. It's for like when you're going to paint your walls, you clean it with that, chemical. And that's in like a breakfast cereal for little kids. It's in Lucky Charms, I think it is, or some other cereal. I mean, what? Why the fuck can't they just use something normal that, you know, and it's like a whole shit ton of chemicals and everything. And red dye 40, I think that's the one that's messed up. Yes, dude. Yeah, it's nuts. They did something to bread. Used to get mold when I was growing up. Bread would get moldy. You'd throw it out, whatever. I get it. They're trying to change the shelf life, but they did far more than change the shelf life to it. They fucked it up somehow. And what's that doing to our bodies? It might be some of what's causing celiac disease. Putting all these different chemicals out there, like the wheat and everything's getting all fucked up, genetically bioengineered. Matter of fact, Russia won't let any of our wheat contaminate their wheat field. I heard that, you know, they are basically don't even fucking want our shit over there. Like, I guess our seeds and stuff, they have their own. Is it Russia or is it Ukraine? I can't recall. The Ukraine's actually was considered the basket of the world there for a while. But Everything we got's like bioengineered, not bioengineered, everything. Yeah, the chicken's really fucked up. So that's probably a lot of that is made in a petri dish now because they kept trying to kill off millions upon millions of chicken, calling them because of bird flu and everything. Okay, well, it's fucking ridiculous. Here's why. If you kill them birds and you get rid of them, you throw them out. Why? Fucking cook them past 170 degrees, 165, 170. That kills all viruses, or that what they suggest to do to get rid of salmonella and everything else in a chicken. You do that, the virus would die in that kind of heat. So now you just throw out tons and tons and tons of food and you're replacing it with bioengineered shit grown in a laboratory, or they're trying to. And same with the Impossible burgers and the fake meat that Bill Gates is working on and has been. And then, ironically, he is connected to these alpha gal syndrome, the ticks, Lone Star ticks that are genetically modified. Now you get some kind of weird ass meat allergy. It's ridiculous. He's trying to corner the market and buying up, and then he's buying up cattle ranches for all of a sudden, and nobody's questioning or stopping him. How the fuck is that allowed? They mess with the farmers. Exactly. Exactly. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. That's another thing. These data centers over here, they're popping up everywhere. And I tend to believe they could probably convert some of them into prison camps as well, or FEMA camps. Maybe not all of them, but if they start building a shit ton of fucking concentration camps out in the open, where people can see them, people are going to catch on and say something. But they are doing that in some places, FEMA camps. But how do you fucking imprison millions upon millions of people? Well, could be why they're trying to lock us down in our houses because they know they can't get enough facilities built. So they're going to lock us down again. They're not going to let you travel. You know what I mean? Unless you're somebody famous, uh, you hop on your airplane that you own and burn some holes in the fucking ozone with it and go to China or wherever the hell you want, India, and then over to Pakistan and France and back and forth. But if I go ride down the street in a Toyota to go get a cup of coffee, I'm burning a hole in the fucking ozone. Get the fuck out of here with that line shit. Yeah. They're probably building something over there in England too. I'd keep an eye out, dude. You know what? The thing is it's a smaller country. They can feel that they can control you guys better, and you don't have guns. That's the whole point of them taking the guns away. They knew this day was coming. Now, hopefully, and same with Australia. They did the same thing there, and I guess many countries. It might behoove these people to start making weaponry because sooner or later they're going to roll people off the death camps. I honestly believe that. I'm hoping not, but it seems to me. Yeah, Canada's. Yep, yep. And China's actually got people in soldiers in China. I mean, in Canada right now near Vancouver. There's a whole company over there that I don't know what they're building or what they're doing for China, but its guards are literally militaristic, and so they're 100 guards or whatever, all carrying automatic weapons. In one area right near where the hell's that at? It's right near. I think it's British Columbia or is Vancouver in British? I think it's right in that area. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, yeah. And then meanwhile, if you even talk about this shit, all of a sudden you're probably already on a list. You know what? I don't give a shit. You can move me up to the top of the list then, because I'm not going to sit quietly and let them fucking just roll right over me. They can go to hell. I figured that's what you were saying, dude. I thought maybe we were talking code. Yep. Or maybe they change shit themselves, you know? That's exactly right. And you know what's going on over there anyway in England? I'll tell you what, that bothers the shit out of me. The- people are coming into the country and doing shit to citizens who've been paying taxes and everything else all their lives and fighting for the country if a war happens and all this other stuff, and they're being forgotten. Same thing happened over here. That's so wrong. It's not funny. If you go over to another country and pull that shit, you ain't gonna last long. It's really fucked up. They're allowing this. They're trying to cull the population, pit one group of people against another. That's what it's really about. Yep, it's all part of it. Oh, by the way, did you guys all get notices? Did the notifications come through? 'Cause I didn't happen to notice. Sometimes it's top. Yeah, disarm. Yep. Tammy, did you get a notification? Or you, Memory? Did you get one? Because it seems like they've been suppressing my live streams again. I had five in here, but the deal is what happens with the thing is they only let like maybe 8 to 10 people in on a live stream throughout the live stream. Later on, I get all my views. In other words, they get locked out. That way, they're basically watching my video, and then not if it's too controversial, they won't let enough people come in, so I don't get as many views or whatever. They're trying to silence people. They're limiting what you can say. You have the right to speak. I don't give a shit. It's not just in the Constitution. It's a God-given right. God wouldn't have gave us vocal cords, a brain, and tongue if He didn't want us to use it. Now, you know what I'm saying? Especially for speaking up to protect ourselves from tyranny, fucking tyrants that want to come in and fucking kill us. Yes, exactly. They're doing it to everybody, Memory. I was taking it, what do you call it? I was taking it personal for a while, and then I'm like, you know what? And I started looking. Tammy told me now they're doing it to everybody, and she's right. And I'm looking at it more and more. Other people getting the same suppression. It's wrong. It isn't right. You have the right to speak. I got to be a prepper. You know what? I'm prepared, and all I needed is a Bible. I believe in God, but I have some common sense. I put stuff aside and everything. But you know what? There's some people I know are preppers. Here's the problem. They think that, oh, I got 75 pounds, 75 buckets of dry rice and 20,000 rounds of ammunition and this and that. And okay, now somehow a radiation leak in your area and you have to get out now. See how they get rid of you? Now, so you're going to carry all that with you? How are you going to get that out of? How are you going to bug the fuck out carrying all that supplies? You better have a bug out bag, obviously, but you got to get real. You might as well start burying stuff all over the fucking country because you might get bugged right out of the area and you don't have time to fucking pack your bags and get it out of there because you can see every other day there's some kind of disaster, crisis. It's all pre-planned. They're clearing out areas. They got a map somewhere and they're sticking pins in it where they're going to hit next. That's my belief. You're right. You need water. That's right. I'm just saying, being real about it. When the shit hits the fan, 75 to 80%, I think, won't be able to get enough supplies the hell out. They'll panic. Something will happen, and they had tons of shit there, and they need to get out of the area. How do you get it out? How's that magic trick work? You know what I mean? You got boxes and bags and boxes of, you know, how the fuck are you getting it out of the area? You can get a certain amount, so you better use, you know, your best judgment on what you absolutely need. And you're right, water would be one of the first things. Yes, yeah, if you have the chance to, but like I said, what if they blow up a fucking reactor, a nuclear reactor, or mess it up so it overheats or melts down? How do you get out of the area fast enough? With that shit. So you better prioritize, take your best stuff that you need. But people are, oh, I'm gonna bug in, and my older brother, says that all the time. I'm like, just barricade myself in and everything. They'll ride right up to the house with a 50 caliber and turn your fucking house into Swiss cheese. You know, people aren't dealing with the reality of it. They got a lot more weaponry than we got. So the best bet would be Josie Wales style fight from the movie. And he was a bushwhacker. He fucking hit and run tactics because that's the only way you're going to be able to fight back. Guerrilla warfare when that shit hits. E-bikes back. Yeah. Yeah, but e-bikes ain't gonna work if the power grid goes down. They won't, I mean, yeah. Can you pedal them things? Are they like a regular bike that you can charge? Correct? Or you know what? There's I don't know a whole lot about them. I see people on them all the time. Can you generate your own power by riding them, or do you have to plug them in? You generate your own, pedal and puts juice back into them. The next thing is they're talking that at one point or another, what do you call it? What kind of blackout? EMP, electromagnetic pulse, maybe used like a bomb, set something off, and we're fucked. We got no juice. And the first thing you want to do if you go into a blackout situation, as fast as you can, find out whether go out and see if the car works. Try to determine whether it's just a blackout, a temporary, loss of power, or if an EMP went off, and then from there figure out what you want to do next. But you have only with a grid down situation, you only have like a couple days to get any, or maybe not even a couple days. Get whatever water you can get out of your house, out of the sink or whatever, because eventually all that shit's run on electrical things. Hours. You're right, Tammy. It's going to be You're going to be shit out of luck if you wait around. That's what I was saying. Maybe try to find out whether uh, it's an EMP or just an electrical outlet. Well, speaking of which, the whole electric rolling blackouts that they're having now, you won't know which is which unless you go check. But why in the fuck are we doing electric uh, rolling electric blackouts so the data centers can get more energy? Well, you know what? Fuck them data centers and fuck all the carbon footprint shit. Okay, all of a sudden, this new science that they're shoving down our throat. Human beings matter far more than your fucking precious data centers. Okay, period. End of story. It fucking pisses me off. They're destroying the planet with these data centers too. They use tons and tons of fresh water. They don't recycle it. It's just dirty it up or whatever. It's not like they have a way to reuse the water. What's it saying? Shut down data centers. Yep. and brokers selling our info. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I have this fear that the whole deal is down the road, literally, they're going to use the fucking very energy that you have in your body to run shit. Literally plug you in like the Matrix, like a battery. Exactly, dude. Yep. It's one of the fucking building blocks of life, water, and that's the thing. Carbon, we're all made out of carbon. Are they trying to eliminate us too? Yeah, carbon is in everything, just about. Okay. They want to not only eradicate carbon footprint, they want to the whole body. They get rid of everything. We're carbon. We got a lot of carbon and we got a lot of water in us. Flock cameras too. Yep. The law says stalking is illegal. Yep. Yep. Hang on 1 minute. Let me see what my battery says. Cool. I got plenty of battery. Yeah, they sit there and stalk people. And this is another thing. Over in England, I think in Germany, they're arresting people for standing outside of a abortion clinic and just praying out there. Man, that must mean prayer has way more power than we know, because why would you arrest somebody just for praying? Makes you wonder. Yeah, so yeah, what is your first priority? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you for saying that, because I didn't specify. They were praying silently, and one group, one guy, they came up and they asked him, and he said he was praying for the souls of the babies that were killed or something, you know, to that effect from this abortion clinic. They threw some handcuffs on him and rolled him off to jail. What the hell? The thought police. They want you to. You're not allowed to believe in a higher power and God, unless you think they're the God. Man, that power or that. Can you hear that? Can you guys hear that bird? Yeah, talking louder and louder. He hears me, and the dog started barking too. But everything's gone crazy. It's really sickening, actually. By the way, Ian, are you subscribed to the channel by chance? If you get a chance, hook me up. I also have my main channel. It's Legends and Tales of Josie Wales. Another Clint Eastwood title there, kind of. Um, but that one's is out right now. It's on my other phone that's broke, and I got to get a new phone. What's it say? Ex-sheriff in Tennessee arrested for. I saw that. Yeah, that was nuts for a meme. Getting more like China. Exactly. USA, you're right, Tammy. And Trump going over there to visit Xi Jinping. And the world's at war. And they're just like visiting each other and they throw out the red carpet. Why? Uh, Other times they're acting like we're enemies and stuff. Why do you welcome your enemy in like that? Does that make sense to me? Not for President Trump to go, or dignitaries or diplomats go over and handle that. Why is he walking into China? Yeah, one of our enemies. Oh yeah, because you know why it's a worldwide problem? Because they're going for all the marbles. This is their big scores. They want everything. They're not settling for just taking over a couple countries. It's the whole thing. It's off the hook. Ambassadors, yeah, I call them diplomats, but yeah, what? Why don't they have people doing that? Especially when people are trying to kill Trump over here as well. See what I'm saying? Shouldn't that be a question? Like somebody saying, yeah, why is he going over there? It's crazy. Exactly. It's off the hook, dude. And you know what? Not enough people are opening their eyes to see that stuff. I feel like that's why I'm still on. I've been on here now for 3 years, almost four. And sometimes it's frustrating because I feel the need to fucking just speak up about all this bullshit. Like it's on my heart to say something, you know? And a lot of people don't, no matter how many times you go over it with them, they just shake their head and walk away and call you a conspiracy theorist and stuff. But the fact of the matter is, why would anybody want to come on here, say this thing, and get called all that, and still do it? Yeah, there's some reason, and that reason is God. I think God puts it on us to speak up before it's too late. You know, because it's really getting bad. It's getting ridiculous, and most people can't handle it, so they don't handle it. They put their blinders back on, like there's some horse blinders where they can only see straight ahead. That's what's going on there. You know what, Tammy? Did you notice none of the none of our mods are hopping on hardly? There's only you and Fisherman. Exactly. I think they're not sending out notifications intentionally. Hey, look who's here. OJ's hanging out with me. Unpredictable. Right. OJ, come here. He's been sitting here listening. They probably are, dude, but there's like 10 people who are mods, and some of them tell me they don't get the thing, the notification sometimes. Oh, say hi. Say hi, buddy. OJ thinks I'm crazy. Talking into a black mirror. Yeah. That's just basically what it is. It's like a scrying mirror from the ancient times, fortune telling and shit. Fucking, everything they've given us, is just bad news, TVs, television, freaking cameras. They're putting cameras in TVs and refrigerators and everywhere else. Why? Can any of you give me an answer to that? Jesus. Cameras are everywhere and they're listening devices. What is so interesting that they can't go on with their life, that they need to know what we're doing 24/7, unless they're planning on wiping us the fuck out. They just don't want to let us catch wise to it and come after them first. That's what I think. Truman Show, yeah, right. It's off the hook. You're right, dude. Absolutely. We're probably already sold out to them. They probably agreed among themselves. They probably have a big map drawn out and they're all taking their little chunk. And somebody's going to step forward and be the main voice or whatever, the Antichrist or whatever. And they already know, and they're not sharing that information with us. They're going to force that on us at the last minute. That's what I think's going on. Yeah, their entertainment, probably. Yep. But I think it's more than that, Tammy. I think they also kind of afraid to, they want to keep an eye on us because they're getting ready to do a lot of dirty bullshit to humanity. And they know if we catch wise and all pull together, they're done. You know? China get Taiwan, Russia gets Ukraine. Yeah, USA gets Cuba. Yeah, exactly, exactly. They're splitting it up. They're rolling the dice who gets what, and yep, yep. They're watching. Yep, it's ridiculous, man. And I'm wondering if we, at the end there, get to rally the troops, kind of like, well, people just all of a sudden say that's enough and start flipping out. I know over in Ireland they were pissed off big time about a month ago. I saw film clips of it, and we don't get as much. You don't hear about it when there's shit like that going on because they stifle it. They don't want it to spread, and that's why I think they like starting that kind of shit on islands and places they can cut off, not like a laboratory, like they're experimenting in little areas that they can control. Not it's like a brush fire, not letting it get out and spread. So, I mean, they sat around and dreamed all this stuff up and think about this. They pay big bucks for think tanks. Get these guys out of MIT, Harvard, or wherever the hell else to sit there and, on a round table discussions or the Bilderberg meetings or whatever to figure out how they're going to fucking eliminate us. You know, Ireland passed off with immigration. Pissed off, I guess. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's getting crazy over there. You're not allowed to fucking. I mean, you shouldn't be allowed to pull in millions of people and just let them bully your citizens. Yeah, and not maybe not all of them are doing that, but enough of them are, and needs to stop. It's off the hook. Yeah, yep. Because they something happens and they can't even go get help from the police. That's the next thing. Police ought to have a big fucking target on their fucking back if they turn on us, in my opinion. Because you're a traitor motherfucker. If you turn and don't do anything to stop any of this or speak up and you're wearing a badge, shame on you. They ought to get what's coming down the road, because they're basically letting us be, targeted. Maybe that's a little severe. I don't mean that because there's definitely uh, cops that are good, cops and good people, but I'm afraid it's the old go along to get along thing with same thing that happens out there. During World War II, it's a lot of the German guards that were guarding Auschwitz and everything. Oh, we didn't know what was going on. We were just following orders. Well, somebody better get some balls and stand up and say no. You don't go and slaughter people, and you don't go and fucking do the shit that they did during World War II. You know? And I take back what I said about, going after cops because then we're no better than they are. I'm just saying it really pisses me off that these people are to protect and serve and they're selling out. You know? It's fucking bullshit, dude. People gotta fight against that. Now I'm watching up top there, Tammy, and it says two in the chat. I know there's three of you guys plus myself, and it's saying 5 thumbs up. And I've been on here for an hour and 20 minutes. Okay, so they're suppressing me for right now. Now later on, they'll lift that number, make it look like a whole bunch of people, not a whole bunch, but more people watched, and maybe they did, maybe they didn't, but they won't let them join in on our chat. It's suppression. Why? Maybe I'm too close or I'm over the target with some of the things I'm saying. You're right, it's global. Absolutely. That's where people are making a mistake and not realizing it's global. That we all got to pull together. We're all screwed. Yeah. This is all everywhere. And the only way we don't get screwed if we start standing together and forming alliances and stopping this horse shit. That's my belief. Well, you know what? I think I'm going to hop off of here and chill out and talk to you guys probably tomorrow. Thanks for stopping by. Good meeting you, Ian. Um, Stop on back and, if you can, subscribe to my other channel, Legends and Tales of Josie Wales. I'm on that a lot more than this one. My other phone's down, so I haven't gotten a chance. See you guys. Have a good one. Thanks for stopping by. Memory, thank you. Tammy, thank you. Ian, and anybody else who's listening and watching. Oh, we got another person hopped on there. Have a good one, dude. Good talking to you.